Welcome to Spring Trends, people, right here on Western Spring Television. On Spring Trends, we look at issues trending on social media. Who is trending, what is trending, where they are trending, and we get to take reactions. We'll feel people's polls on social media and see how Nigerians are reacting to the issues. My name is Evelyn Ohiolei, and thanking you especially for joining us on this Thursday's edition. Of course, today I have a whole new partner with me. Tomilola Daniel is right here
Thank
in
you
the
for
studios.
having
Good
me.
morning, Tomi. How are you doing today?
Very well. Good morning to you too.
Yeah, it's good we're twinning. It's
Yeah.
Pinky Thursday
And then
right
it's Breast
here.
Cancer Awareness
Week.
Month, so
Yeah,
definitely we are here for a good purpose as well.
of course. So let's get right into it. The very first story this morning is a statement made by the former chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Atahiru Jega, who has urged the federal government to exercise caution when considering recommendations from the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund. You remember that it's not only Atahiru Jega who is coming with this reaction. Also, the Nigeria Labour Congress has also reacted to the statement made by the IMF and World Bank saying that they have absolutely nothing to do with the removal of fuel subsidy in the nation. And the NLC felt, see, you did this to us. You influenced the decisions of our government. Now you are washing your hands clean of this situation. This is not really a good one. Let's take reaction at this time. Olonade Olukunle says, tell them, Prof. It is obvious that both fiscal and monetary policies of this administration is failed by the disoriented international organizations like World Bank and IMF. They are also seriously benefiting from the foolishness of those said institutions. If not, why is dollar and other foreign currencies not falling but gaining more strength? Why is inflation on the rise on daily basis? Both fiscal and monetary policies have their scorecard with IMF and World Bank and not the Nigeria reality situation. I hope the government understand this and do the needful. Babangida Ibrahim says, I totally agree with everything he said. Following IMF and World Bank recommendations on economic were the reasons why we found ourselves in our current situation. I hope federal government will consider what Jega says. Akin Besote Valentine says, nothing wrong with their advice, only that corruption is the order of the day. The money made from subsidy goes into individual pocket. And Creative Mind says, you put us in this mess, and on the other hand, there's no developed or developing nation in the world that depends solely on IMF and World Bank in implementing their economic policies. Nigeria should wake up. Let me just get right to me in the studios. What do you think? I mean, there are people that think even if the IMF and the World Bank gives an advice, you don't have to follow hook, line, and sinker. That's why you have your own government. That's why you have your own think tank in your organization. But a lot of people have been calling out the IMF and the World Bank for, getting us to where we are as a country. Do you think we should allow the IMF and the World Bank breathe, or they are culpable, in when we talk about the situation that we have found ourselves in this country?
Saying that the World Bank and IMF is one of the reasons why the country is going through what it is just a reason why you're not being accountable to some of the things. We also have issues as a country. We have corruption. We have some insecurity and the like. So I feel that getting advice from IMF or the World Bank is not actually a bad thing, because even as a country, you can't stand alone. You need also some interpersonal and some personal relationship with some foreign countries as well. Yes, it's better for a country to also have their stand in making their own laws and order, and also abiding by it. So it's actually, if the organization saying that, oh, don't listen to whatever IMF or World Bank says, there's no problem with it, as long as you choose to you make things right by yourself. If you are capable enough to make things right by yourself, there's no problem. You can go ahead with it.
Okay, good one here, Tomi. Let's move on to the next story this morning, and this is Ali Ndume, senator representing the good people of Borno, speaking. Borno South, rather, speaking to the federal government that they should not burden the poor with more taxes. The National Assembly is reportedly considering a bill proposing an increase in value-added tax VAT from 7.5% to 10% by 2025. And the legislature also intends to increase VAT to 12.5% by 2026 through 2029. So it's going to be upward and forward. During an appearance at prime time, Ndume said it would resist any attempt to punish the poor with more taxes. And the reactions, Idiongo P. Uda says the only vocal senator in the Nigerian Senate. All right, applauding Senator Ndume there. Kwara Last Bond says, thank you for speaking up, but be ready for another suspension. Akuna Matata says he's saying this because he knew the northern states would be the most hit with T-Pain new taxes scheme. Please, they are telling you people should stop calling President T-Pain. Please, please.
And let the real T-Pain rest.
And let the real T-Pain. I mean, the real T-Pain will be trending, yeah. And it will be like, oh, I'm trending. Only for you to see the context and the situation in which he says, I have nothing, absolutely nothing to do with Nigeria's mess. And this one is from Rita Sunshine saying, given the fact that inflation is a tax and they are already collecting tax on top the very high inflation, I would say your life is now in danger by as much as your life depends on money. Inflation is a tax on savings because all the depreciation in the value of your saved naira is going to the government printing money. One thing Nigerians can do to save their lives now is to full stop accepting naira as legal tender amongst yourselves. Use bags of rice, gold, silver, cement, milk, anything that holds value as money, but not naira. I don't know where Rita is actually coming from, because she's literally telling us to go to the days of barter, trading by barter. I give you want to buy yam, you bring the equivalent of it in rice, because that holds more value than saying you want to pay naira. And I understand where she's coming from, because sometimes you want to go buy some items in the market, and probably you bought it, say 100 naira yesterday, and today you're going back to the market with the same 100 naira, you might likely see that same product that you bought 24 hours ago, 150 naira when you get to the market. Yeah. But how do you respond to the fact that Senator Ali Ndume is saying that, see, let the poor breathe, no more taxes, this is getting too much?
Well, this statement, it was not, the first person who made the statement was our very president, to let the poor breathe, but it's likely that that word is not coming to pass yet. But yes, what he said was right. Every politician should also have that as their the mantra, let the poor breathe. And then putting the value-added tax on some product, it's definitely going to have a greater effect on the consumers, which are the Nigerians. So definitely, even though we have a lot of people who can afford some things, we still have Nigerians who are suffering, which are definitely the larger part of the population, who would actually have great effect on. So I feel that definitely the poor needs to breathe, and then we need to try to slow down on some of these laws that we're trying to implement that would definitely have adverse effect on Nigerians.
All right, move on to the next story this morning. We have to run. Justice Joyce Abdulmalik of the Federal High Court in Abuja has restrained the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, from further releasing financial allocations to Rivers State government, pending when the Lawful Appropriation Act is passed by a validly constituted House of Assembly. Remember that the 2024 budget was actually presented to a five-man state assembly, and was passed into law. And that has actually elicited some sort of controversies over the past months. Now we are hearing that the Federal High Court has restrained the CBN from releasing funds to the River State government. Let's take reaction. Osa Yuware says River State should stop paying any form of tax to the federal government. They should generate their own funds. And Devio123 says River State should stop all oil companies from drilling crude oil without paying directly to the River State account, period. Uche Mosca says he can run his government with internally generated revenue, just as T, okay, they've shortened the T into T, just as T did during his governorship tenure in Lagos. To me, I mean, this particular judgment has got not just legal luminaries talking, but every Nigerian is speaking to if this judgment would hold water, because we have a Supreme Court judgment that actually barred the federal government from withholding allocation meant for the state.
Oh yes, regarding River State and then the revenue that they're supposed to get as a state, what how will the state function without all of this? We have different sectors in River State that needs funding to survive. So I feel that the federal government, the Federal High Court, bringing up this judgment regarding, it might be political motivated, looking at the crisis in River State. There's been a bit of back and forth with Wike, Fubara and the likes. But yes, we hope that this judgment will be reversed. Yes, thank you. And then River State will return to how it is, because without money, you can't function. Yes, you would say that you can have internally generated revenue from different sectors, but yes, we still need that state needs money from the federal government. Yes, so it is needed. So a state can't function without it. So we hope everything gets settled soon.
Of course, and Governor Fubara is appealing that particular judgment. Also, the CJN has, summoned the judges to interrogate and also probe the situation in River State. It's going to be a long situation, long day in River State, I should say. But then Governor Fubara is saying he's unperturbed, is not disturbed. This is just one of those things to distract him, and he's not distracted one bit. Our fingers are crossed as to how this will pan out in the coming weeks and months. Lastly, last story for today is on the slapping, snail-eating lawmaker. I'm talking of no other than the representative Alexander Ikweje. We learned that the Abuja court grants Abia Alex Ikweje 500,000 naira bail over a case of assault against boat driver. Tommy, I know you've seen the video, yeah? When you watched the video, how did you feel?
Well, definitely. Even if he's not a senator, I would definitely react to it in a very a negative way. That was a very bad move. Looking at the position you hold in the state, in the country, that is a very bad one.
All right, let's take reaction. We'll come back to Tomi. Betty Bunike says, we all know that if it was a poor man, they will not grant him bail, or they put the bill at 5 million and possible for him to be granted. You should pay compensation and damages to the young man. And Ajibare Talks says, I doubt if he will be re-elected. Well, I do not know about that, because there was a Senator Elisha Abo. Remember the Elisha Abo case that's actually assaulted a sales clerk in a sex toy shop, and he was re-elected by the Adamawa people. Although saved the court judgment that removed him from that particular office and gave it to another person that he contested with. Talking about re-election, you never can tell. Ajibare Talks. Snowcat says, what about the boat driver? Have they compensated him and given him his car back? Uche Okoro, Ikweje's case is a stark reminder of the corruption and abuse of power that plagues our country. We must demand better from our leaders. No one should be above the law, and attacks on innocent civilians are inexcusable. Let's take your take now.
Yeah, definitely. No offense is excusable. And then looking at it, we see that people who have power have high hands in the society. And then regardless of whatever offense, they feel that once they have that money, they can do anything. Looking at the bill, the 500,000, like one of the person who commented, said that if it was an original, ordinary Nigerian, it would be 5 million, 10 million naira. Something they know that, oh, this person will be able to pay, so they have to put him or she in jail. So I feel that regardless of your position, these are things that don't happen outside the country. Regardless of who you are, you will be jailed. Yes. We've seen so many politicians, even president will go to jail. But in Nigeria here, you go scot-free for doing things because you know people, or you feel you are above the law.
Do you think we are the enablers of these politicians? Because on social media, when I was reading comments, I saw people saying that it's human if everyone has a camera watching them from their day-to-day lives, would see more of this, of employers insulting or assaulting their employees, of women in their rooms beating up their house help and what have you. And they've made it seem like it's a Nigerian thing. They say everyone is a thief. it is only the one that is caught that is a barao, or how do they say it?
Yeah, it's possible it's a Nigerian thing, but we still need to say the truth.
Be accountable.
Yes, be accountable for everything. Anybody who commits a crime needs to be punished for it. There is no justification for any offense.
All right, that's the show this morning. Thank you so much, Tommy.
Thank
I was
you.
about to say Femiojo. Thank you so much, Tommy. Tomilola Daniel, for doing this with me. And that's the show this morning, people. Thank you for being a part of Spring Trends. We'll make a return for the TGIF edition of Spring Trends. Until then, have for yourself a good and productive day. Remember to be a responsible citizen. My name is Evelyn Ohiolei.